Get ready for the dictation. On the count of 3, 2, 1, start. The ministry has taken care to foster regional languages. For that purpose, it has spent certain amounts, but with that meager amount, they cannot expect to develop all the regional languages which are recognized in our constitution. Then there are certain languages which are not recognized but which are rich. Some amount should be spent for their development also. The Sahitya Academy is a national academy of letters. It has to work for all the Indian languages. In addition, they have to do work in Tibetan and other foreign languages also. But the total allocation for that institution is around about rupees 20 lakhs only, and out of that 80% or something like that is spent on establishment. Then what remains for the development of the languages or to take up projects for the development of the regional languages. Therefore, I would urge upon the minister to take a special note of it if he is really desirous that the regional languages should be developed, and give assistance and encouragement to the voluntary organizations and more particularly to the Sahitya Academy. I find from the report of the ministry that the National Book Committee was constituted in 1976 and again in 1980, but since 1980 it has not been constituted and has not been functioning. Then how can we expect that this ministry will deliver the goods so far as national books are concerned? That also should be taken into consideration and prompt action should be taken. There is a certain formula laid down in the report for the export and import of books. There only the amount has been mentioned, nothing has been mentioned about the quality or the nature of the book which can be imported or exported. There is no institution or committee to supervise it. It is left to the Commerce Ministry, and the Commerce Ministry does it in a commercial way, but everybody knows that books imported in a commercial way cannot serve the cause of education and enrich and knowledge. There are manuscripts lying all over the country. There is a saying in respect of Greek that what has been published in a language is only 1/10 of what exists. So far as Sanskrit and other regional languages are concerned, what has been published is only 1 to 20th of the manuscripts lying all over the country. So far as education is concerned, we are entering a new phase. Our Prime Minister has declared the new education program which has been accepted by the nation and is being implemented in various spheres. I would request the minister here to devise ways and means for the involvement of the teachers and students in the speedy implementation of this program. Let me say that on education depends not only for our future but even our survival. I do not think we have realized this obvious truth, but sometimes even an obvious truth has to be repeated. If that is so, I would like to ask my dear and esteemed friend, the Education Minister, and his able colleague whether they and we together have really succeeded in giving priority to education, educational programs, and allot them adequate funds. Of course, for education, the funds will always be inadequate, but in our country, I find over a period of many years since independence, the funds allotted to education are very meager. One argument advanced is, why do you want to spend more on education and create educated unemployed? I feel this is a contradiction in terms. If a person is educated, how can he be unemployed? It means we are not educating him properly. A truly educated man will always be employed. If nothing else, he will be self-employed. But unfortunately, our education is such that even self-employment has become almost an impossibility. Coming back to my main point, I would like education to be given the topmost priority by all concerned, by the community at large, by the union and the state government, and by the leaders of public opinion. For many years, the education ministry is not represented at the cabinet level. I cannot imagine a cabinet of any democratic country where a minister of education is not a member of the highest policy making body, namely the Council of Ministers. If you want to spend money in other spheres, but if you do not consult and involve the education ministers who is ready to give you the manpower, you cannot get the desired results. You may have all economic programs, you may have all other developmental projects, but if you do not have the educated men to manage the various projects, you are not going to have real progress or development in the country. Therefore, I feel that as long as the education minister is not a member of the cabinet and he is not a part of the council of ministers, I do not think any effort at discussing these points in this august house will be of much significance.